the one, the only, Benzion. Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Benzion Gittin, daf Iyun number 75. The Gemara on Iyun and Aleph quotes a brayso. I believe this brayso was quoted earlier on daf Chaf, I believe. In the middle of the daf, I'm giving you a get, but the paper belongs to me. It doesn't work. If he says this is your get, on condition that you give me back the paper, which is essentially the get, it works, presumably when she gives back the get. He gives it to her, and then she has to give it back. When she gives it back, it's a get. So the Gemara says, why in one case it works, in one case it doesn't work? Right? So I believe the way most people explain the ratio of this price, so the reason it doesn't work is because, like I think the Rishonim say, Osios Parachos Ba'avir. If you say, I'm giving you this get, but the nair belongs to me, the paper belongs to you, essentially what are you giving her? You're giving her letters without the paper. Letters can't exist without paper. So you gave her nothing. The Seifa works because I gave her the get. It's just a matana manas ha'achs here, right? You makadesh a woman, I'm giving you a diamond ring. I'm going to ask that you give it back to me. The Gemara says, right, matana manas ha'achs works by kedushin. The Gemara in Daf Vavam Beis Mesachas Kedushin says it works. Here also a gerushin, it should work. Now, the Gemara doesn't say, right? The Gemara is not satisfied. The Gemara is trying to still figure out what the ratio in the Seifa. And the Gemara first, for about an amud and about a half an amud till the bottom of the daf, the top of Ayin Hamad Beis, tries to give different explanations of the Seifa. The reason the Seifa works, it's a gerushin, is not because of matana manas ha'achs here. It's not because of that reason. It's because there was a weakness in the Tanai. The Tanai did not follow the Mishpatei HaTanoim, which Reb Meir enumerates in Meseches Kedushin and Daf Samach Aleph. When I make a Tanai, I need six different specifics in order to make it a valid Tanai. In order to make the Tanai hold up the Maisa. And the Gemara goes through about it. You need a Tanai Kafel, you need a Tanai Lahain Kodem Alav, Tanai Kodem Lamaisa, you need Tanai Maisa V'Davar Echad. You need a lot of different things to happen. So therefore, he didn't do that. In the Seifa, he didn't do that for some reason. The Reisha, presumably, the Gemara is saying he did do that. In the Seifa, he didn't do that. And therefore, the Tanai is thrown away. Forget about the Tanai. The Tanai is gone. Right? Like, Tanai is milsach. Tanai is weaker than the mice. The Tanai is gone now. And the Gerushin took effect. Why isn't the Reisha? So the Reisha, it's not a good get, either for one of two reasons. Either because, like I explained before, Osios Parchos Ba'avir, you're not giving her anything, or maybe it's a case. The Gemara still at this point is not really sure. It doesn't explain really why the Reisha is not a good get. The Reisha is not a good get, or because maybe there was a fulfillment of the Tanai. Maybe he did do Mishpatei HaTanoim in the Reisha. Now the Gemara gives about four answers. Then last, on top of Ayin Hamad Beis, the Gemara says, Rav Ashi says, he gives a totally different answer than everyone else. Rav Ashi Amar Hamani Rebbe. He says, who's the Seifa of the Mishnah? It's Rebbe's opinion. The Amar Rav Huna Amar Rav Kola Omer. It's actually Rav Huna Amar Rebbe, right? We saw yesterday. Kol Omer Almanas, Kol Omer Ma'achshav Dami. Anytime you say the word Almanas, it's like you're saying Ma'achshav. Now go back to the Brisa, right? The Seifa says, he said the word Almanas. So what changed over here? What changed in Rav Ashi? Rav Ashi said something totally different than all the other Amoraim. So, as I explained yesterday, this is really the source of where I got this. That even though we always think Tanaim, you need Mishpatei HaTanoim, it's not so simple. You don't always need Mishpatei HaTanoim. If you say the word Ma'achshav, or even Almanas, like the Gemara concedes, with Ovi Paskin, Almanas is like Ma'achshav Dami, the Tanai is really, it's not Tanai Milsach, Risa, like the Rosh explains. It's not something which is important, but separate from the Ma'aseh. The Tanai is actually almost done already, right? The Tanai and the Ma'aseh are inseparable. When I say you're Megreshes to Menash Tachshel Zanir, or I say Ma'achshav, so I want the get to take effect right within the scene. So the Ma'aseh giving the get is already completely tied together with the Tanai. It's not that the Tanai happens afterwards. So you have a problem. The Maisa Gerisha, the Maisa Kedusha happen in one place, and the Tanai happens 30 days later. So your Das is with the Tanai, and the Tanai is not linked to the Maisa. You have to link it with a Mishpeh Tanai. If you don't link it with a Mishpeh Tanai, the Tanai is thrown away, Melsa Achrisa. But when I say Al-Manas or Ma'ashav Dami, the Tanai happens right away. It takes effect right away. Now, you have to do Matana Melsa Haxir, right? You have to, once you do Matana Melsa Haxir, that's a monetary consideration. But as far as Isser V'Heter, of the Gerushin, the Tanai for the Gerushin, that's holding back the Gerushin, it happened already. We assume it's going to happen, or happened already. Right when you give the get, the mice and the das are linked, and they have it right here. It's not milsa achrita Tanai. The Tanai is merely a financial statement. Taxir is haniyah, right? Get doesn't have to be worth shavapruta, but it's worth something. So it's and that works, right? She gives it back to him. It works because there's no problem mishvei Tanai. Rav Ashi is throwing away. All the other Marayim said, "Wait, a problem mishvei Tanai here." Rav Ashi says, "Forget mishvei Tanai. Once you say al minas ashav dam." Right? So let's go back to the ratio of this price. So we always understood that to mean the reason it doesn't work, either it's because you did mishpeh tonight, right? And you didn't give back the paper. Or it's because Osios Parchas Ba'avir. But now we have a new explanation based on Rav Ashi, is that the reason it doesn't work is not because Osios Parchas Ba'avir, because we can construe this basically as a Matana Manas HaHaxia. Right? The problem is over here is that you said the word vi. Vi is like saying im. Hareza gitech im tachzir l'saniyar. V'anayar shali or im tachzir l'saniyar. So in that case, Eina Migureshes. She's not Migureshes. Why is she not Migureshes over there? Because here, this is where you need Mishpteat tonight. And we'll assume because it had Mishpteat tonight, right? It had Mishpteat tonight. Because otherwise, a v or im are insignificant, right? It had Mishpteat tonight. So Eina Migureshes, the reason it's not Migureshes is because okay, I'm going to take that back for a second. It's not going to help me what I'm saying. Let's stick with it. The reason it doesn't work in the ratio is because, like I explained, for Osios Parchas Ba'avir. But at least the Seifa, we learned from Rav Ashi's Maskana over here that the difference between, as I said before, Mishpeh Tanai is only necessary when you say im or when you say im. But if you say Almanas or you say Ma'akshav, you don't need Mishpeh Tanai. And the Tanai and the Maisa happen at the same time. It's just a monetary concern of giving back the Niyar. When the get is given back, when the Gerushin takes effect, retroactively takes effect, like Rav Huna said yesterday, retroactively takes effect. Everything happens now, and that is what the Chiddush of Rav Ashi is saying. Forget about Mishpeh Tanai. You don't need Mishpeh Tanai if you use the word Ma'achsha or Ma'yom. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.